You pay your bills on time every single month, yet your credit score still drops anyway. Most people think they are doing everything right while a silent math trap quietly damages their financial reputation behind the scenes. Today, you will learn how to control the credit utilization ratio and stop the invisible leaks hurting your score. This is for the person who is tired of following the rules, paying on time, and still feeling like the system keeps moving the goalposts. The math is simple. The psychology is where most people fail. Let's audit how the reporting system actually works. Assume you have a credit card with a $5,000 limit. Every month, you spend around $2,000 on groceries, gas, subscriptions, insurance payments, and random online orders. Then you pay the full balance every time your paycheck arrives. In your mind, you are carrying zero debt. In the eyes of the credit bureau, you might still look like someone using 40% of your available credit. That happens because the bank reports your balance on a specific day, usually before your payment clears. The system does not care that you are responsible. The system only sees that you are using nearly half of your available credit. That looks risky. That looks like a person who might be depending on credit to survive. And the worst part is that most people never even realize this is happening. They assume paying on time is the entire game. It is not. Payment history matters, but utilization tells the algorithm how stressed your finances appear in real time. If your utilization climbs above 30%, the system starts treating you differently. If it stays there month after month, your score can stagnate or slowly decline. High utilization signals a lack of margin. And in the world of financial auditing, a lack of margin is one of the biggest warning signs possible. A few grocery trips, a couple restaurant deliveries, a phone bill, a hotel booking. None of these purchases feel dangerous individually. But when they pile onto one card before the statement closes, the system interprets that behavior as pressure. This is why two people with the same income can have completely different scores. One person controls the timing and ratios. The other person only focuses on making payments after the damage is already reported. Rule 1. Utilization is a ratio, not a feeling. You can feel financially comfortable while still appearing financially stressed to the system. Credit scoring systems do not measure your intentions. They measure visible ratios. That is the trap. Credit cards are marketed as convenience tools. Tap your phone, swipe the card, collect points, earn cashback. Because the money does not leave your bank account immediately, the psychological pain of spending becomes weaker. Your brain separates the purchase from the consequence. Most people stop thinking in percentages. Instead, they think in monthly payments. They ask, can I pay this later? Can I afford the minimum? Will I clear it by payday? But the scoring system is asking a completely different question. How much of your available capacity are you using right now? Someone with a $1,000 limit spending $600 looks riskier than someone with a $10,000 limit spending the exact same amount. Same lifestyle, different ratio, different score. Fixed rule. Set a hard ceiling of 10% utilization per card. Do not wait for the bank to tell you what you owe. Tell the bank what you are willing to show. Your goal is not to maximize rewards. Your goal is to protect the appearance of stability. The lower the reported balance, the calmer your profile looks. That calmness is what the algorithm rewards. Do this today. Log into your main credit card account. Find the credit limit. Multiply it by 0.10. That number is now your visible spending ceiling. If the limit is $2,000, your target maximum reported balance is $200. Not because you cannot spend more, because you do not want the system to see more. Your card limit is $1,000. Your new spending cap becomes $100. You buy groceries for $60. Then you pay for gas. Now you are near the limit. Instead of continuing to swipe the card because you technically have room, you stop using it for the rest of the month and switch to debit or cash. That single habit changes what gets reported. And over time, that changes the score. Rule 2. Credit limits are not spending targets. You treat a credit limit increase like permission to expand your lifestyle. The bank raises your limit from $5,000 to $10,000, and suddenly your spending quietly rises with it. Maybe it starts small. More takeout, a larger phone plan, extra shopping, a more expensive gym. None of it feels dramatic. But over time, your lifestyle stretches to match the available space. That is lifestyle inflation. And it usually happens quietly. Society trains people to see larger limits as status. The bank trusts you. The app congratulates you. You feel successful. And psychologically, Humans adapt to available capacity extremely fast. If someone moves into a bigger apartment, they eventually fill the extra rooms. If someone gets a larger closet, they buy more clothes. If someone gets more available credit, spending slowly expands to occupy it. That is lifestyle inflation. And it usually happens through dozens of small upgrades that become permanent monthly habits. Fixed rule. Treat every credit limit increase as protection for your score, not permission for your spending. The goal is to widen the gap between what you could spend and what you actually spend. That gap creates stability. The larger the gap, the safer your profile appears. High credit scores are often built on unused capacity, not constant activity. Do not celebrate a higher limit by increasing your consumption. Celebrate it by lowering your utilization percentage. That is the correct mental model. Do this today. Request a credit limit increase on your oldest card. But before you do it, make one rule. Your spending stays exactly the same after the increase. No upgrades. No reward purchases. No, I can afford it now logic. The increase exists to create breathing room. Nothing else. Your limit rises from $2,000 to $4,000. Before the increase, your usual monthly spending created 20% utilization. After the increase, the exact same behavior creates 10% utilization. Now imagine most people doing the opposite. They immediately finance furniture, upgrade electronics, book trips, or fill the new space with subscriptions and impulse purchases. The extra room disappears, the stress returns, and the score never improves. Rule 3. Timing changes reported balances. You focus only on the due date. You assume the due date is the most important date connected to your credit card. So you wait. The bill says due on the 15th, and you proudly pay it on the 15th. But by the time you make that payment, the bank may have already reported your balance days earlier. The damage was already photographed. Most people are trained to think like obedient bill payers. Pay on time, avoid late fees, follow the instructions. But the scoring system is not only measuring whether you pay, it is measuring what your balance looked like when the reporting snapshot happened. Most people never learn the difference between the due date and the statement closing date. That gap creates confusion. The due date affects late payments. The statement closing date affects reported balances. Those are completely different systems. And once you understand that distinction, you stop reacting to bills and start controlling the data. Fix rule. Shift your payment timing. Stop paying based on the due date. Start paying before the statement closing date. Ideally, pay the balance down 3 to 5 days before the statement closes. That way, when the bank reports your account to the bureaus, the visible balance is already low. The system sees calmness instead of pressure. You are not changing your spending. You are changing the timing of the snapshot. That single adjustment can create a dramatic improvement over time. Do this today. Open your last 3 credit card statements. Find the statement closing date, not the due date, the closing date. Then create a recurring calendar reminder several days before it. Make the payment before the snapshot happens. Automate it if possible. Do not rely on memory. Your statement closes on the 20th. Your payment is not technically due until the 10th of next month. Most people wait until the 10th. You pay on the 17th instead. Now, when the bank reports your account on the 20th, the visible balance is near zero. The bureau sees control, not stress. Over time, those small timing adjustments stack together, and the score begins moving in the right direction. Rule 4. One card can drag the entire profile. You believe overall averages are all that matter. You have 5 cards. 4 are mostly empty. 1 is nearly maxed out. You assume your total utilization still looks acceptable because the combined average seems reasonable. But the algorithm notices the outlier immediately. One stressed card can contaminate the entire profile. Most people organize spending emotionally. One card becomes the food card. Another becomes the travel card. Another handles emergencies. Over time, one specific card absorbs most daily spending because it has better rewards or easier app access. That card stays permanently inflated while the others sit unused. Psychologically, this feels easier. But scoring systems do not think emotionally. Fix rule. Never allow a single card to carry more than 30% utilization, even if your total utilization looks healthy. Spread activity across multiple cards if necessary. The goal is balanced pressure, not concentrated pressure. Imagine carrying a heavy box with one finger versus using both hands. The total weight stays the same, but the strain distributes differently. Scoring systems evaluate concentration risk the same way. One overloaded card signals stress, even if the rest of the profile looks calm. Do this today. List all your active credit cards. Write down the balance and limit for each one. Calculate the utilization percentage individually, not combined. Individually, you may discover that one specific card is carrying most of your visible stress. If possible, redistribute future spending more evenly, or aggressively pay down the overloaded card before the statement closing date. Rule 5. Closing old cards can quietly damage your score. You finally pay off a credit card you no longer use. You feel responsible. You feel efficient, so you close the account. And suddenly your score drops. This confuses people because emotionally, closing debt feels healthy. But scoring systems are not emotional. They are mathematical. When you close an old account, you reduce total available credit. That instantly raises your utilization percentages across the remaining cards. You also shorten the average age of your accounts over time. Length of credit history matters. Old accounts create stability. Think of it like trust built through years of observation. A 10-year relationship feels safer than a 2-month relationship. Credit history works similarly. The system trusts patterns that survive time. Fix rule. Keep old cards open whenever possible, especially your oldest accounts, even if you rarely use them. Put a tiny recurring subscription on the card. Maybe a music app, maybe cloud storage. Then automate the payment in full every month. This keeps the account active without creating stress. Your oldest cards are not clutter. They are structural supports, holding up the age and utilization profile of your entire system. Rule 6. Hard inquiries create temporary instability signals. Every time you apply for new credit, the system records a hard inquiry. One inquiry is not catastrophic, but multiple inquiries within a short period can make your profile appear unstable. The algorithm starts asking silent questions. Why does this person suddenly need access to more credit? Are they under pressure? Are they expanding too quickly? Most people chase rewards emotionally. New cards, sign-up bonuses, travel points, store discounts. Individually, each decision feels harmless. But clustered together, they create the appearance of financial hunger. Fix rule. Apply for credit strategically, not impulsively. Avoid stacking unnecessary applications close together unless you are intentionally rate shopping for something important like a mortgage or auto loan. Spacing applications apart creates a calmer profile. Again, the game is perception. The system rewards predictability more than excitement. Now step back and notice the pattern. Every rule you learn today revolves around one hidden principle. The scoring system is constantly evaluating whether your financial life appears calm or pressured. Not whether you are a morally good person. Not whether you work hard. Not whether you deserve approval. Only whether your behavior statistically resembles stability. Low utilization signals calmness. Old accounts signal consistency. Early payments signal control. Balanced cards signal stability. The people with the strongest profiles are often not the people earning the most money. They are the people creating the least visible instability. That distinction matters. A person earning $60,000 with disciplined utilization can appear safer than someone earning $200,000 with chaotic behavior. Because the algorithm cannot measure your intentions. It measures patterns. And patterns reveal pressure. Rule 7. Financial systems reward emotional restraint more than financial intensity. Most financial stress does not begin with catastrophe. It begins with emotional leakage, impulse purchases, lifestyle inflation, reward chasing, avoidance, late reactions, disorganization. The system quietly tracks all of it through patterns. And over time, your score becomes a behavioral mirror, not of your worth, but of your consistency. The people who win financially are usually the people who learn to stay calm longer than everyone else. Now notice what this means psychologically. A high credit score is not proof of wealth. It is proof of controlled behavior inside a monitored system. That distinction changes how you move. You stop using credit emotionally. You stop treating available limits like spare income. You stop chasing temporary relief through purchases. Instead, you begin treating your financial profile like a reputation that compounds over time. Because that is exactly what it is. A long-term reputation score built from repeated patterns. And once you understand that, your decisions become quieter. You stop needing financial intensity to feel successful. You stop performing wealth. You stop reacting to every upgrade opportunity. Because you realize most expensive mistakes begin as emotional impulses disguised as rewards. The people who stay financially stable the longest are usually boring, predictable, consistent, emotionally restrained. That is what the system rewards. So here is your challenge. For the next 90 days, stop treating credit like a convenience tool. Treat it like a behavioral training system. Lower your utilization. Pay before the statement closing date. Keep old accounts alive. Avoid unnecessary applications. Distribute balances evenly. Then watch what happens, not only to your score, but to your stress levels. Because financial calmness is not created by income alone. It is created by reduced internal pressure. The people who appear strongest financially are often simply the least reactive. They delay impulses. They create buffers. They avoid visible chaos. And over time, those quiet decisions compound into opportunities most people never reach. Because stability attracts access, calm behavior attracts trust. And trust quietly opens financial doors long before income alone ever can.